So how's she not going to be a sweetie on the show?
Because they don't write her that way, because bad girls are far more fun than good girls, in my opinion. I think for Morgana, the most important thing, I'm just going to dive right in, sorry, is the time that she has spent off camera almost. You know, there's 3 years in the difference, and in those years you discover that her worst fears have been realised. She's been persecuted for being magical, and directly. You discover she's been in an oubliette for 2 years. She's been imprisoned, probably tortured by a character who you'll see later on in the season. And for her, when she gets out, it's no longer just about being accepted for being magical, which is what she was in season 4. It's now about revenge. She wants to make everybody pay for what has happened to her, and it's a much darker driving force for her. She doesn't just want to throw him back. She wants everybody to feel what she's felt, and it means that she's very alone in season 5. Even though, which is nice for me as an actor, I get to interact with the cast much more. So season 4, you didn't really see me with any of the other ones, but they, in the magical Merlin world, have figured it out in very interesting ways, which you'll realise that I get to go into Camelot and I get to interact with everybody. So I have scenes. I feel involved. Yeah. I get to play with the knights, which is always fun. The Darling Reapers and all.
Now, is her hatred or whatever, her anger, going to be just focused on what has happened to her, or what about also the turnaround of roles and things like that? I mean, now Gwen has become queen. Now, you know,
I think you remember from season 4 that she had a real issue with Guinevere becoming queen, because for her that's her role. She believes that is her birthright, and you know, I mean, in all fairness, it is. She is Uther's daughter. She's the eldest child. She should be the ruler. Aside from the fact that she would be a better ruler than Arthur, you know, whatever. She does have difficulties with it, but for Morgana, she has got an overall goal, and she is willing to do whatever it takes to get her end goal. And whether that means being nice to one person, forming alliances with another, doing underhand dirty things, but all the time you have to remember with Morgana, her goal is revenge, and that's what she's thinking. She's thinking about herself and about people like her. She wants everything to be all right for anybody who's magical, but she is so angry and so hurt and so damaged by what has happened to her that's what she's trying to. Colin's very funny, by the way. Yeah, I'm not. You all wish you were on that table right now, trust me.
So will we see then, since she is so full of this anger and this resentment, is she going to be bringing in new allies, since obviously Agravain is not around anymore?
I think the great thing about season 5 this year is not only has the show grown, but the cast has grown. And whereas before you very much had sort of a villain of the week or a guest star of the week, now it's sort of based on the 4 of us. It is our show, and it is, you know, it's Colin. He's carrying it with Bradley, and so the villain of the week is Morgana. It is her. She's the big bad. And while other people come in that she uses, she's very much got the status. It is her, and she's running the show, and it's people that she come in and she uses. I mean, we've got Liam Cunningham comes in, and he plays this sort of great, sort of almost magical freedom fighter, who I love. I mean, I love Liam. I've known him for years, so, you know, it was all up to the Irish on Saturday day with Liam, Owen, and me, and Colin. So anytime somebody comes in that she does ally, she allies with them and uses them for her own ends.
So now you say that she's trying to fight for rights for magic people. Well, how will that change if she ever finds out about Merlin?
This is it. You know, I think if she finds out about Merlin, and I'm hoping at some point she does, because somebody has to find out. Dear God, somebody has to find out. I think that's possibly going to either send her even further over the edge to find out this person was the same as her the whole time and never helped her, never ever lifted a finger to show her support and let her spiral down and let all these things happen to her. Well, he's fine living in the kingdom, you know, so it'll either go that way, or it'll make her realise everything that she's done, that this person had magic and this person was able to live a good life and she didn't. So it's one or another. We haven't got that far in the stories, so I'm supposing what could happen in either way. Personally, I want to see Morgana feel guilt for what she's done. I want her redeemed. I want her to understand how far she's come from where she started and what that's done to the people around her, who I think she does love. Somewhat she just can't deal with it anymore. And I want her to rediscover all those and rediscover all those relationships, because I think it would be an amazing point in the story for her to see it on her face of what she's done. You know.
So Mordred's back this year, and obviously we know the close relationship she had with him when he was when Asa was still around. What are we going to see of the two of them?
Straight off, you can't tell the story about Morgana without Mordred. It's just impossible. The two of them are interlinked, and from the very first episode, you see that again, and you see that in a way, Mordred was the person as a child that made her accept who she was, and when he comes back, it affects her like no one else could. You couldn't bring anyone else into the story that would affect her like seeing Mordred again. And straight off from the first episode, you will see how that relationship is molding the new Morgana.
I'm going to go through yours first.
Sorry. You had mentioned earlier about the change of the show between being standalone episodes and now multi-story. How does that affect you as an actor?
In a way, actually, it makes it easier as an actor because you're following one thread. It's a very definite story. I mean, season 4 and season 5 to me feels like one big story, one big season, whereas 1, 2, and 3 were very much standalone. And I think that's because we knew we'd been commissioned at the same time for 4 and 5, so we were able to tell one big story. As an actor, it feels it's a much more confident feeling because you can follow that one story and you know where you are from A to B to C. So it's easier and more fun because you feel more involved in the whole process and in all of the storylines rather than some stories you might not be in and some are more about others and Gary is
Wrapping it up.
unfortunately, but we get one more.
One more question. With all the...
She was trying.
I was trying early.
In 18 minutes, we're gonna have a problem.
You'll make it. You'll make it.
We gotta go.
With all the anger and stuff that you have to project, does Katie get to have fun on the set? Or
Are you kidding me? Seriously, have you seen the character?
No, but I mean, or do you have to stay, in that kind of character?
Well, no, because the thing about Katie is that I'm really that evil. You know what I mean? This is the acting right now.